The power of pain, it's really kind of a fun topic for me just because I mentioned in about 6 years ago, I started a vlog that was called Rose-Colored Glasses. And this is essentially me coming full circle to really getting back into the whole vlogging thing. I am not going to be calling my vlog Rose-Colored Glasses moving forward, but I've really had a series of experiences over the past several years that has really brought me back to this place where I know that I want to be sharing about these kinds of spiritual topics, the metaphysical, manifestation, spiritual laws, and our connection to our higher power. And I really want it to be focused around solopreneurship. So, small business ownership, because I believe that one of the greatest journeys in personal development that anyone could ever take is to have their own business. And I believe that the growth of our business is directly affected by the work that we do inside. If we are not prepared from an internal place to receive the abundance that we want on the outside, then we're not going to be able to sustain it when we receive it. And we may not even be able to attract it in the first place. But if we do attract it from a spiritually unstable place, I believe that we will lose it and we'll have to get it back again somehow. That 6 years ago, when I was making that rose-colored glasses vlog, the next video I was about to make before I kind of fell off and stopped was the power of pain. And so this is a really full circle moment for me. I wasn't ever able to make that video 6 years ago. And I now, looking back, can see that because I wasn't ready. I didn't have the experiences that I needed where I could actually give a talk on what the benefits of pain actually are. I do consider myself an experiential design artist as well. So I believe all of this inner work that I talk to you about is actually going to help you design the experience that you want to see in the world. As within, so without, as above, so below. So the work that you put in, the internal work, in my opinion, is the most important work, the most important self-care that you could be doing in your life, because it will bring you all of the things on the outside that you want. But you have to detach from all of those things first, and you have to be completely whole within without all of those external things in order for you to fully enjoy those internal things. A better name for this video, I'm deciding right here, right now, hot off the presses and live, I'm going to call this something more to the effect of turning your pain into power. Because that is when you learn to have an appreciation for the pain you're going through, that is when you gain the power to alchemize your pain into something greater that will not only serve you, but will serve every single person around you. I get chills when I think about that. That feels to me like the best possible use of something that we could ever even think of. We have the power to improve somebody else's life and our own at the same time. I mean, win-win about pain. The first thing is, I believe that pain is a way for us to identify our preferences. Abraham Hicks always says, when you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. And that is so true. That was actually incredibly pivotal for me on my journey of figuring out what the heck I'm doing with my life, in my career, and in my business. How am I serving people? I really had to go through a lot of time of doing what I don't want, like experiencing all the jobs that I didn't want before I could actually have the job that I did want. Now, my personal experience, and I think experience of a lot of business owners, is similar to that. We go through all of these different roles and jobs in our lives where we don't like the job. And then we finally get to a place where we're like, if I'm not going to find an existing job, an existing position out there that works for me, I am going to just have to create it. And that's what I did with my virtual assistant business. That was my way of turning my pain into power, because I went through the pain of having so many different jobs, so many different people that I worked with. They challenged me in so many ways, and it only let me get to a certain level. It was so frustrating. I felt like I could never make any more than like 40 grand a year, and not that wasn't something to be appreciated. But when you're really focused on your career and wanting to put in the work and not being able to get there, that is painful. When you can't get past a certain level of income, it's frustrating and it creates pain in your life. In any level of pain, you could use your own intuition to apply this to any painful situation that you have. If you know that you're going through something really deep and intense, this is why I love journaling. Journaling is such an incredible practice because it allows you to put down on paper what you don't like. If you're new to journaling, if you're going through something painful, that's what I did. Journaling has helped me immensely to process feelings and to alchemize them into better situations. I actually did this yesterday. I was having an issue with someone. I was in a little bit of a disagreement and I was just feeling all the feelings about it. I was so upset. I was so frustrated. I couldn't see through the situation at that moment. But I am now in a place in my life where I know when something like that happens, I actually get excited that it's happening and on some level, maybe not immediately while I'm feeling the angry emotions of something happening. I know that it is something that is helping me to heal something. Something is coming up for healing when I am feeling triggered and when I am feeling upset and angry and frustrated. That means I am being presented with a belief or some perspective that I have that could potentially be shifted so that I could look at it in a better way. If you have a painful situation, I would recommend that you journal about it. You write it all down, write all the crappy feelings that you're having. F them, they suck, all the blaming feelings. Put it down in your journal. And then I want you to read it back to yourself. Ask yourself, is this the way that I want to feel in this situation? And if it is not, then you write down how would you want to feel in this situation. I guarantee you, if you open your mind to the possibility that you could co-create with spirit a new situation and you look for the evidence of it, you absolutely will start to see little sprouts of the new situation happening. And you've got to be committed to doing this over and over again in your life because you're humans and we have a lot of these things. I've been doing this work for a very long time and I still have things to work through. I would just encourage you to use a journaling practice to help you flip the script, if you will, certain painful stories that might be playing out in your life. How could you look at it better? Kind of like with ChatGPT. One of my favorite things about ChatGPT these days is that if you are writing a complaint letter, you're experiencing some technical difficulty and you got to contact customer service about it. You're in heat of the moment, you're all like aggro and pissed off. You can write down all the points that you want to make and then you can plug it into Chat GPT and you can ask it to write a better story for you. And you know what? Let's take that to journaling. If you're having a hard time thinking about a better way to look at your situation, maybe just put all the crap down on paper, put it in Chat GPT and ask Chat GPT to give you a better way to look at it. But I actually encourage you to try it yourself first because it is extremely powerful for you to come up with your own story of what you would prefer. But it's absolutely acceptable for you to use the tools we have available to us today and this wonderful technology that we have. Let's use it for good. Use it for things that uplift, empower, help us move in the direction of more love and fulfillment. We go through these painful times because we are being prepared for other things and because life is trying to communicate with us when we are out of alignment with source, with spirit, with God. God is an energy that always is loving. I believe that God is always love, happiness, peace, bliss, and fulfillment. Those are some words that I got from a mentor that I listen to all the time on YouTube. You can listen to him too. I learn a lot about the subconscious mind from Joseph Rodriguez. So I highly recommend you check out his videos. And we have to always be reminding ourselves to come back to that place of who we really are. And anytime we are feeling any energy that is lower than love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, that is when we are out of alignment with the way that source, with the way that God is looking at us. And so the goal is always to align our vision with the way that God is looking at us and everyone around us. And so pain is often the indicator of when we are looking in the wrong direction, when we're not looking at something in a way that would bring us love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. So that's why I get excited when my triggers come up, because that means I know exactly what to do now. I go to my journal, I write about it, and then I transmute it into something. What would a better situation be? You ask yourself that, and the answer will come to you. I promise you. And if you're having trouble with that, let me know what you're having trouble with. Let me know in the comments. I want to know what your questions are about these kinds of things. In order to really fully experience something, I believe that we have to experience its opposite. In order to really fully know what abundance and success looks like, we have to know what scarcity and failure feels like. Think about it. So if you did not know how painful something could be, how would you even know when something actually felt good? Like a fish in the water doesn't know that it's surrounded by water because it's been in water its whole life. So it doesn't have anything else to compare it to. This great comparison point, so that now when good things come to us, we recognize them because we're like, oh my God, this is amazing. I've already been through such darkness and hardship that now when things become easy, I'm able to really appreciate it and feel the gratitude towards it from deep within me, not just from this superficial, I want something nice, I want a new pair of shoes sort of thing. Somebody who has had new shoes their whole life is not as excited about getting a brand new pair of shoes as someone who maybe had to go barefoot for a while. Pain really does serve a purpose in our lives, and you can turn it into power, but you just have to stay committed to it. And it has to be an internal process. We can look outside of us for inspiration. Maybe we can look for people who have gone through similar things as us, and we can hear their experiences, and that will help us get to a certain place. But ultimately, you are the one who needs to understand the power of your own pain in your life and understand what that pain is pushing you to see and to do in your life. And you do know it. It is within you to know this. As long as you believe that you can, you absolutely will. And as long as you don't give up.